And so I'm thinking about this, and I'm thinking about how you talked about the potential solutions in your lecture on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
And I would agree with you very, very strongly that we need to focus on commonalities. Anyone who's not really considered, I would say it's cultural Marxist, postmodernist kind of ideology. We should all basically unite around our rejection of that um, ideology. Do you think that's a good idea then?
oh yeah. I mean that all of that, it goes the exact opposite to what we already know from. It's like why I'm so adamantly opposed to it,
Sorry,
because
sorry, yeah, you cut
we
out
kind
for
of
a
know.
minute there. Could you just repeat that last part?
Yeah, so basically that whole premise of the cultural Marxism, or whatever you want to call it all goes against what we know from what psychology as a field has told us. So it goes the exact opposite, which is you first start off by finding common ground. So now you have some way of being able to relate to each other as humans, and then from there you try to figure out how to settle your differences. And what I say in class is, you do your best to win the other person over, but go in with the idea that maybe it's impossible, maybe it won't be happen in our lifetime. It may take a few hundred years to get the issue settled, but as long as we were talking, we're always making progress.
Right.
And it goes against that, so I have to stand against that because
Well,
it's just outright wrong.
I'm really glad you told me that because I think for me that would be my strongest argument for people is that pragmatically speaking, practically speaking, what we know psychologically from our research is that would contradict any positive benefit of this social justice movement.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
okay, good to know. So, is there any? Do you see any pragmatically positive benefits of this kind of behavior? Or is it pretty much all bad?
I well, when it's all just based on ideology, and the fact that you can't question it, I think that's the warning sign. Is that with any respected discipline, they're open to criticism because they realize it's not perfect. So when you critique it, we don't get defensive. We start trying to say, oh, that might be an issue, but here's what we're trying to do to address that. So that should be the response. But the fact that they get defensive or they try to change to something else, so anything other than dealing with arguments is, they counter with a personal attack. So I think that tells us that the school of thought actually doesn't have any merit because they're trying to work under a premise that no matter what we say, we're always going to be right. And that's, of course, impossible. You can't have a discussion where you're always going to be right.
Right.
So the whole premise behind it is completely faulty and based on ideology.
Right. Um, so that's a good segue then into my sort of last but broad question, and I thought maybe you could elaborate on this for me a little bit as a professor of psychology. So you might have heard here in Toronto, for example, there. Well, you can, as you could probably imagine, as a consequence of this social justice movement, there's a lot of identity politics on both sides that are reactionary, that are increasing. And
Oh, yeah.
so I would say here in Toronto, for example, I am witnessing a rise in white identitarianism. And so, for example, maybe about a month ago, some people got in trouble because they were putting up signs that said "It's okay to be white" around U of T and stuff like that. And I know some of the individuals that were involved in that personally. I know who they are, and I don't think they're hateful people at all. I think that, I think they're sort of in like a pressure cooker environment where they're just being bombarded with like anti-white sentiments all the time, which is contributing to the way they're reacting. And now I personally am a libertarian-minded kind of guy. If you look at my personality, I'm high in trait openness, and I'm not an identitarian. I'm an individualist, and I'm into free speech and stuff. But pragmatically, when I learn about,
Uh-oh.
am I still there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you cut out for a moment.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but
I
now
was
you're
just,
back.
I was just saying, I am myself an individualist, but I think part of that is my biology, like, tilts me that way. And so I have sympathy for other people that might be different temperamentally that are responding to this sort of toxic culture by becoming identitarians because of, as a reaction to that. So, what is the most effect? I would like to see Canada remain, as with as much personal freedoms for people as possible, and be a stable, functioning society where we can all prosper, those sorts of things, and the individual can flourish. what is the most pragmatic way to combat people's the urge that people are going to have to become identitarians as a reaction to the left wing, sort of academically manufactured ideology that we're dealing with?
Um, well, the solution, I like to think, is that I'm actually trying to do what I can to be part of that solution, which is that as a child, I grew up in the 70s, right after the October crisis. So that's when I was born, was September 1970. So just 1 month before the October crisis started. So growing up in Quebec during that time period and leading up to the 1980 referendum, there was a lot of racism that I experienced being, East Indian family, first generation Canadian. So we had eggs thrown at our house, crank phone calls. I got beat up a few times with the streets I wasn't allowed to go on. So this was, outright racism. So what it's taught me is that racism is wrong in all its forms. So in my classes, I've actually talked about the white privilege and how it's one thing to just talk about on average, here's something that's wrong, but not to instill guilt based on that. So, and then I did talk a little bit about some of the new schools of thought that are coming out, like math is racism, and I actually posted a link on the course website to an actual talk given by the person. So don't believe me or the media reports. So here's some media reports on the topic. So one was from RT, which at the time I thought it was conservative media, so I was actually incorrect about that. So I'll stand corrected on that one statement that I made in class. The other was from Liz Wheeler and her commentary on it. And then I actually posted a 1-hour talk by the person. And so one of my students watched it and said, I cannot believe what that was all about, with the math being racism. So there, at least I did get the word out that way. And so what I've said in class is that I have to actually stand against this, because right now the situation as it stands is that if white people cannot stand for themselves, what's going to happen is your modern people are going to stay silent. And you know who's going to stand up then? The white supremacists, and though that's when the situation gets scary. And so I said, I'm going to do what I can as someone who has experienced racism and is not a white person, which is I'm going to stand by the it's okay to be white movement. And so for now, because we're in exam period, I'm not going to do much here at the university, but when classes start, there's going to be an it's okay to be white sign outside my door, and I dare anyone to ask me to call me a white supremacist.
Wow. Well, I commend you on that. I'm very impressed by that. So, thank you. That I'm glad that some people are willing to stand up for these people. Because I don't think the people putting those signs up are necessarily hateful people. And so I'm glad that at least some. I've been. I tried to stand up for them myself and got a lot of criticism. So, coming from your position, I'm even more impressed. So, thank you for that.
No, because I'm completely appalled by that, and what I related to the meetings with equity, what I find really appalling about the equity movement is that the people who are doing the speaking are all white leftists. And so I really find it condescending that these white leftists think they can speak for me as if I have no personal agency.
Right.
So there's nothing stopping me from saying, what I want as a brown person. So whatever I got was, I think, from what I earned. So with my position here, I know I was second on the list so I interviewed, and then I was second person on the list. And when I met with the equity rep, I said I would not have it any other way. I would not want to be moved first, because I'd always be wondering then, was I here because of my color? So I'm glad that you guys thought I was the second best candidate, not the first. I waited my turn. It was really stressful, because if this job hadn't worked out, at that point I was just going to give up on academia altogether and do something else. But given that, I would not want to be in because of my skin color. That's why I'm so strongly opposed to the notion of equity. So I'm all for no discrimination, so we have a fair process. So no one should have experienced discrimination in any form. So you should be hard just based on what you have to offer. So the whatever is irrelevant should not be taken into consideration. We should just have a level playing field. So that I will support completely, because women should be hired. No one should be hired. No one should be turned down based on what's irrelevant.
Right. Well said.
So that's the way I see it. But the equity movement, where we need to actually take this into consideration, I actually find it really condescending as someone who is, who's supposedly supposed to benefit, and I don't by the argument, which I've heard in union meetings, which is, the whites have had their turn, and now it's someone else's turn. That whole idea of, what was a historical wrong will address now by another wrong where it's someone else's turn to take the bus. Where my view is, we have a table, let's make the table as big as we can so everyone has a voice at it and has equal respect.
Right. I would agree with that 100%. I agree with that. That's my position as well. I have a bit of an optics problem right now or a challenge on my hands right now with Freebird Media because I think pragmatically it's important that somebody, and I've taken on this role, maintain a dialogue with a lot of like white identitarians and white nationalists and stuff so that we know exactly what's going on and that there is conversation. And I would say on average, people that identify as white identitarians tend to be more open to speaking with me and more rational than a lot of the radical leftists. And I want to, so because I've associated with people who are white identitarians, or I've interviewed people who are white identitarians, it's easy now to lump my channel in as being far right or call us conservative or something like that, which is obviously not the case. I think you can testify that the Overton window has moved such to the point that anyone that is not there is considered a right winger, and if you even associate with far right people, then you are guilty by association. How do you feel about that?
I think that's what I'm seeing. Like everything has just shifted so much that that you can't even have a conversation. And so I think with you're just trying to reach out to all people,
right?
And so of course the far leftists don't want to speak to you. There's not much you can do about that. Whereas others, if they do want to have their voice heard, then you're giving them an opportunity to.
That's how
and
I see
so
it.
when the mainstream media doesn't do that, so I know I had a few contacts with the CBC, and they ended up saying, sorry, we don't want to run with your story, at least not at this time. So unless it becomes a court challenge or something, I guess they're not interested.